Hey dolls, and welcome back to my channel. This is me again, Cherise, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. In this channel, I usually do beauty and skincare reviews. So if you're interested in those subjects, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. So if you guys have noticed, I am all over new foundations nowadays. But I'm seeing a trend with new release foundations. I'm seeing that most of those foundations usually tend to be on the dewy side. So I was really excited to try this NARS new Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Because for one, this brand is known for its skin perfecting formula and a lot of people trust this brand, even makeup artist pros. So I'm going to read the claims on this foundation on their website. Discover all-day satisfaction with a breakthrough in matte foundation, true color, oxidation resistant, full natural looking coverage, comfortable 16-hour wear featuring NARS exclusive antioxidant complex to help prevent color shifting and to help protect skin from pollution and blue light damage. New Hydra Matte Balancing Complex balances excess sebum while keeping skin hydrated with a combination of microalgae and biohyaluronic acid. Superior oil-absorbing powders create a smooth, mattified second skin look, satisfying, mattifying, the new take on matte. Available in 34 shades for all skin tones, oxidation resistant, transfer proof, and shine proof. So this foundation costs 53 Canadian dollars for 45 ml, which I think is in a good price range because if I compare it to the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, that's 53 Canadian dollars, but that's only 30 ml. So when it comes to packaging, this comes in a matte packaging and it comes in a squeezy tube. And this is not my favorite type of packaging because let's say I put one drop on the back of my hand and I have to rest this. I feel like it's gonna drip, and it is. See at the end? And if you look at the top of the packaging, this is something that you cannot rest on something because it's just gonna fall. So you always have to make sure that this is airtight closed before you put it on the table side. When it comes to scent, this doesn't have any scent. It kind of smells like the clay mask that is very natural. So if you're sensitive to smell, you're okay with this foundation. So the shade that I got is medium 1 Punjab, which is actually my usual color when it comes to NARS. But I guess I tanned a little bit. I feel like it's one shade lighter than my skin tone. So if you're an NC30 like me, just go one shade darker. So before trying this foundation on my face, I'm just going to show you the condition of my skin. So I have combination skin, which means I have an oily T-zone and then dry on most parts of my face. And then I also have redness on the side of my nose. My mask acne is flaring up on the left side of my chin. And I have also a little bit of acne on the right side. And I have sun damage on the top of my cheeks. I don't think foundations usually oxidize on my face, but I really just want to find a foundation that's more on the matte side for my viewers and my clients who are oily, and also something that can cover up these imperfections on my skin and something that will be a little bit long wearing. So on their website, they said that this is how you should be using this. Dispense a small amount onto the back of your hand. One drop delivers full coverage with fingertip application. Pat product with fingertips. Start on the center of the face. Gently press the foundation on skin. Use a stippling motion to blend outwards. Work in small sections, focusing on one area at a time. It actually sets on contact, I feel like. And I think the reason why they wanted us to use our fingertips instead of a sponge is so we could feel when it's dry. Because it kind of mimics a liquid powder. It feels like you have powder foundation on. Very silky and satiny. The only thing that I wish I did was to put a pore perfecting primer on the side of my cheeks because my pores are really big on this side. And it's kind of showing because this foundation is really matte, so it doesn't bounce off any light. You could really see my pores. When it comes to coverage, I did 2 small drops on the back of my hand, and I think that there needs to be more coverage on my mask acne. So what I'm gonna do with this side is use a Benefit Pore Minimizing Primer. So I'm gonna use a brush on this side just to see. So I like the brush to stipple on where there's texture and there's redness, because it really can pack the foundation there and it really hides my imperfection. But in parts where I don't have any texture and I have good skin, it's nice to just really blend it even with your fingers. And of course, I didn't get the right foundation shade because I got this online along with my Huda Beauty one. So sorry again about that, but I'm pretty sure when I put on my full makeup, it'll be better. So this is my full face of the NARS foundation. The first impression. So first, I think that this could give you a medium to full coverage for sure. But if you have textured skin, you really need to pack it onto a brush. And I think that it would help if you would conceal first and correct the color first before you put this on. When it comes to the finish, again, it feels like a powder foundation. So my skin really feels matte and it really feels silky smooth to the touch. And I like that about this foundation. I like that it feels good on the skin. I feel like when I put on my blush, my contour, and my other powder makeup, it's gonna set really well on my foundation. It's gonna blend really well on my foundation because of that really satiny finish on my skin now. So we'll see after a while if this oxidized, but so far so good. So I'm just going to finish my makeup and I'm going to be back for our photography test. So I'm done with my makeup and I'm back. If you're curious what I use on my face, I used the Tati Beauty palette on my eyes. I hope I can do more looks with it, but I used the shade Soothe, Story, and Ritual. They're very nice color for the fall. For my lips, I actually use my own lipstick brand. If you're curious where to get it, I'll put the link down below. I used Shy as my lip gloss and the base is Posh. And then for my blush, I use Gold Rush by Benefit and California by Benefit. So on photography, it doesn't have any flashback, but I feel like it looked kind of powdery. It also looks good on natural light with my phone and with my camera, although I think that it looks way better with my phone. I don't know if it's because I'm near the natural light, but I prefer how it looks like on my phone. So usually if I have this very matte foundation, I'll be spraying my Tarte, like the Dewy spray or the NYX Dewy spray. But I'm sure a lot of people who are very oily wanted to test how matte this foundation is. So I'm gonna leave it as is and then I'll just be updating you in a couple of hours. So the last step I'm reviewing this foundation is doing a wearability test. So my 4th hour update, I actually filmed my wearability test all on my phone and my phone was brutally HD. I don't know, but when it comes to video, it's brutally HD and you can see every pore and every texture on my skin. But honestly, every time I look at the mirror, I'll be doing something and I'll be looking at the mirror and I'm like, oh my gosh. Every time I look at it, I'm so amazed by how flawless my skin looks like. It actually reminds me of an AIRBRUSH foundation because the coverage is just like AIRBRUSH. It just really sticks onto your face. So it really gives you that flawless complexion. Well, of course, except for the fact that it also clinged on the texture of my skin, but everywhere else it looks flawless. And I also tested this out wearing a mask, and I could say that this is transfer proof. The only thing is that on the 4th hour, the foundation is kind of clinging on the side of my nose, which usually happens with me even on my favorite foundations. That's fine for me. On the 8th hour, there's a little shine showing on my forehead, but I realized that I didn't put a lot of foundation on my forehead. I really concentrated on the center of my face, and the foundation on my nose kind of rub off, and I think that's also my fault because I've been scratching my nose. I like that my blush and my bronzer are also still there because it has a good base. On the 12th hour, this is actually a really good test because before hitting the 12th hour, I made sure to test if this is sweat proof. So I did a half an hour spinning at our basement gym. And spinning, for me, that's the only way that I could sweat. I was sweating on the side of my forehead, and when I pat it with a paper towel, there's a little powder transfer, but I'm pretty sure that was my contour and not the NARS foundation. So I could say that this is also sweat. So here are my pros and cons. So first, this is a really matte foundation. So for my oily skin viewers, this is a foundation for us. It also sets very fast, and it sets into a satiny, silky finish. For your powder makeup, like your blush, your bronzer, your highlighter, would easily glide on and would easily blend when you're applying it on top of this base. Third is it's very lightweight on the face. Even though it's full coverage, it's very comfortable on. Four is that it's transfer proof and it's sweat proof, which is actually really good because nowadays most of us are wearing a mask. So if you're having trouble looking for a foundation that wouldn't transfer on your mask, this is a good foundation. And it's long wearing. So I've been wearing this foundation for 12 hours. The coverage is still there, and anything that has texture doesn't have any foundation now, but on most of the area, the foundation is still there. Now for the cons. First, right off the bat, my pores were more visible with this foundation on, which I actually anticipated, especially for a matte foundation, because with matte foundation, it doesn't have that reflective property. It's more flat, so you can really see the texture on your skin. But it's not that bad. I wouldn't say that my pores looks bigger with this foundation. It's just that it didn't minimize the look of it, which it didn't also claim. But I just want to let you know that if you have big pores like mine, it's better if you put a pore minimizing primer or a good primer that you trust before putting this on, just so your pores will not be that visible with this foundation. But again, this foundation didn't claim anything about minimizing your pores. I'm just saying this because I want you to know what my experience was. And then second, it's not good in covering the texture on my face. I have quite a few pimples like on my chin, especially on my left side, that are dry and bumpy. I have this one too here. And that's the spots where the foundation didn't stay because of that roughness and because of those texture. It just wouldn't cling to it and wouldn't cover it up. So my final thoughts, I'm giving this foundation a 4 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend this for people who are looking for matte foundations who are very oily. This would be a good match for you. I've tested this without a primer, but I think that this would work better with a good primer. And if you don't have a lot of texture on your face, I would even say that this foundation will look airbrush on you. But again, if you have textured skin, just make sure to follow the steps that I've said before to conceal, to color correct, and then seal it with this foundation and seal it with a good setting powder and maybe a good setting spray. So that wraps up my foundation review on this NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I hope that you found this review helpful. If you have any more foundation review requests, just comment down on the description below. On my next video, I will be reviewing the Clio Kill Cover Cushion Foundation. And that's one of the most rave foundations, especially in Asia, where cushion foundations are used more often than here. But I'm so excited to try it out because I've been getting a lot of good reviews about it. So make sure you subscribe on my channel and you hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once that video is out. Meanwhile, you can check my foundation playlist where I review drugstore and high-end foundations. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Keep safe, everyone!